I did the thing. I got him. I did it. I got them all. I did it. I couldn't help myself. It's very rare that while the series is going on, I go out of my way and buy all the manga. I think it's only happened with like, I watched like the 3 episodes of Spy Family and I was like, need this. I bought all of those. And I think that's honestly the only time that that's ever happened to me while I was still in the middle of it. I just bought all of them. I've got ones like Call of the Night and stuff where I bought them, but that was after I finished the season. So like I waited till it was over. So I don't know. Something about it though. I hit different. So there we go. We got that. So I'll be reading that at some point, hopefully. Summer vacation's going on still, I believe at least. So hopefully we get some more fun things before we have to go back to school, because I actually don't know how long that's going to be. If not, we go back to school is what it is. I'm excited to see whatever we get regardless. If you like it all, hit the like and subscribe. They do really mean a lot to me. Feel free to stick around for the discussion and leave any comments about this episode or series. Let's get going though with episode 9. She going back home? She is. She's not good with directions though, right? It's gotta be so boring to be on one of these though. I mean, I guess she's got her phone, but like I'm always got my AirPods in. I'm always having music on my phone doing something. Like it'd be so boring. I had all my stuff die when I was on a train before too, when it was like 2 hours in. So I didn't have that long left. I think I only had like an hour left, but that was the most boring time ever for that last hour. I really like how they're doing this. Like usually we montage it, but we're taking a bit more of a slower approach to it. Like we easily could have skipped this whole traveling alone journey here. Just showing the plane or the train and then showing her walking home. Or just skipped her to being home, right? Pay your respects to the plane. She stands out. Oh, look at her glow. Yeah. Yeah, try to act all different. And sometimes people do change in a short amount of time, though. At least on the exterior, but... Just adds that extra bit that it needs. Well, it is your return. It's awesome. She seems to have such a caring environment to be going back to. Just like the pacing of this so far and the way that they're handling a lot of it is giving me like insane non-Biori vibes. That's really pretty. Ah yes, I was waiting for the Fumi reunion. Big reunion time. What's up? Yeah. Are we gonna meet him? Oh, I didn't know. I thought it was I don't know why I thought it was official. Okay, but are we gonna meet him? Ah, recent. Of course. Only natural. Nice. Sweet. Perchance. Every time I see that word, all I think about is that Mario essay. Classier now, of course. I imagine being from like such a small like rural town can be, I don't know, I was gonna say it could be like great. Like it seems like there's so many opportunities with just like little things like this that others probably couldn't experience, but you also probably feel like you're missing out on so much.
練習にこれからは標準語喋るって言うとったんはやめたが？うん。
Her standard Japanese? I don't follow.
そういうん。からかわん友達。
Oh, gotcha. Never mind, I follow. That's sweet. Feels accepted for just being natural. Let herself relax a bit. Yeah. Always room for more, though, yeah. The dog does give heavy Shima vibes, huh? Just gotta stick the fork in it like that, alright. What's going on? Are we just trying to establish a base of, like, what this land looks like? Like, where she's from here? Or are we trying to establish that there's not a lot to kind of do? Or not a lot of people? No relaxing around here, buddy. Oh my god. Oh, already? I thought we were gonna finish the whole episode like that. Alright. That's great though that she really does like being home. Like she enjoys her time there and the change of pace. Because a lot of times people will come back from like school and they'll absolutely hate being back because they'll either be like, oh, there's nothing to do, or I don't like being here, or just whatever, right? How was your summer, buddy? You're glowing. I'm building stuff for a play. Oh, for a festival. Cool. Oh, we're gonna end the season on a festival, aren't we? To a lot of people. You have that energy, you know? You give it all good energy to everybody. And you just want him to read it? Okay. I feel like that's a reasonable request. But if he doesn't want to, he doesn't. Okay. So cute. Oh. Nice. You know, some stuff happened, yeah. Squid crackers. Huh. Oh, alright, they're good. I thought they were gonna be like the most bland thing ever. This is your chance. Pull them out. Oh. Oh. Absolutely. That goes back to the thing earlier where I was saying that at least exterior-wise or things going on in your life can change drastically in this short amount of time. You as a person, maybe not so much, but... Oh. I don't want to go down that route, though. Let's not go down that. So we gotta keep things kinda... Okay. All things that she's probably never had before. Yeah. What if it doesn't turn out that way, though, and it's like the most bland festival ever? It probably won't be. I get that feeling. Give me a minute, please. Please don't be too late. Is Ririka gonna be here? Because I'm gonna fucking lose my shit if he gets down the stairs and she's there.
嫌われてるんじゃないかって怖くなったり、
Sure.
でも嬉しいことは無性に話したくなったり。
Depends on the kind of relationship, I guess, that you have with the person, though.
これお土産のイカせんべい。
Ah.
お客さんの対応マニュアルとかもうすっごいの。おもてなしの心よ。そこの中にはもね、宣伝の垂れ幕とか風船ですごいことになるの。
You seem very excited about this.
ごめん、興味なかったかな。この感動をお伝えしたいと思ったんだけど。
いつみちゃん、こういうイベント好きなんだね。
Yeah.
だってこんな華や
Right. Never experienced something like this.
かな大人の余裕を持たない。
Yeah. Right.
違うよ、いつみちゃん。
自分だけ楽しく高校生活やれると思わないで。
Yep.
俺は資格がないから立ち止まってしまうだけで、
Wow.
ためらいなくまっすぐ進んでいける君らの方が。
And he's not capable of that in his mind. Or doesn't have the right to.
ずっと眩しくて遠いよ。
Complete different world from him.
やっぱ島くん元気ないから3つあげる。
That's so sweet.
また明日。
3組の出し物は演劇に決定しま
Oh
した。大変だけど頑張ろ
no. Oh, yeah. He doesn't have to be in it though, right? We don't have to do that. Oh no. This is big for... I'll save it. I'll save it for later, but... Another just fantastic episode. I'd be really curious if any of you know, and I guess I could check now that I own them, but I'd be really curious to know how the first half of this was adapted from the manga. The way I felt about most of these episodes is usually the first half seems to be one chapter and the second half seems to be the other. I haven't actually checked or verified that, but it seems like we're doing probably like 2 chapters pacing. At least that's the vibe that I've always gotten. So if the first whole half was a chapter, I do wonder the entirety of the scene, actually most of the scenes with them just showing the different sceneries and stuff involving that, how that was taken from the manga in the way that they did that, if that was really expanded here to give you a different vibe or just to really immerse you and get you understanding of the surroundings and everything that we have going on where she's from, or if that's actually the way that it was drawn within the manga and they actually just literally copied and just took everything from there. And I'm interested to know. With all that said though, we did have a very slice of life Nanan Biori type episode, I feel like, with the entirety of the first half surrounding her return home for summer vacation, being able to kind of venture into that world and understand that a little bit, which was great. And I really, really appreciated that. And I really appreciated the direction that they kind of went with it and the way that they kind of toned down and slowed it down, but also to give you a feeling of how probably it felt for her and the understanding of, you know, the peace and the comfort almost that comes with kind of being back home and being in these certain environments on like a hot summer day and just, you know, being able to have the opportunity to sleep in or be able to be there while you're just sitting there with the beaming sun coming down and your mom sitting there watching or washing dishes and you're just waiting, you know, eating food or something, you know, and just having like a calming moment and being able to reconnect with your friends or people that you might have not seen in a long time. Seems to be a really excellent experience, while the second half speeds up a bit more, which jumps us right back into our school life and everything that's going on and drops a lot of things regarding Shima and regarding the way that Mitsumi is become so perceptive of everybody else that's around her and able to at least understand or take in what she's noticing. We've seen before she struggles to actually take this information and analyze it into like a proper social way, if that makes sense, where she struggles to actually make like logical thinking in a way. Like usually she could pick up on cues pretty obvious or understand if somebody's feeling down or if something seems off or just like what changed about people, but sometimes can't really apply that into her own version of like how she should be taking that or how others normally would react and like the way that things would go about with that. So it's interesting to see some of the ways that she took on different aspects of that this episode, and then also just the stuff regarding Chima and stuff that's going on with the play. him not wanting to read the script, him also feeling so distanced and frozen, I guess, compared to everybody else who he views as these shining lights that he's never going to be able to reach and or is at such a distance from. I think it just does a really, really good job of capturing different emotions and stuff that feel very real, especially for anybody who's, you know, come back to school, which is probably everybody watching this before or after a summer break or just any sort of break that they were able to have, and being able to experience and see people for the first time, whether it's going back home during the break or coming back to school afterwards and seeing the way that people have changed. Specifically focusing on the first half of the episode, it was nice to see how toned down everything kind of felt, how the vibe was, you know, rather peaceful, showing you the different landscapes and everything that's going on within this kind of world that she's in, or this town, I guess, that she's in. And I was wondering if the decision making for that was mainly to show you how empty it is, or just to show you how beautiful it can be, and all the things that can come with it, despite there not being as many people around, or maybe not as many typical things that people would like to have around them, such as the things that she set out for, and she's able to have these experiences of living in the city now as comparison, but also being able to show you like the contrast of how different they are and where she really comes from. I like in these moments though where Mitsumi kind of gets to meet her family or see her family again, and then also be able to go and see friends and stuff like that, but just the feelings that you can kind of get from her and her understanding of where she comes from, the household in which she comes from, the good support system that she almost has of all these people who absolutely care for her and treat her really well. And I mean, she does the same back to them, of course, but just having this loving, beautiful place basically for her to head back to at the end of the day, if all things end up going poor within the city, or if whatever, she always has somebody to kind of lean back on. Whereas you see on the other side what people like Shima in the city who have not so much of the same experience regarding family and other things that are kind of going on with them. So you get to see the difference that she kind of has. And that's something that often happens a lot too, where people don't have those types of support systems around them. And we also see a side of her who enjoys being home, and just enjoys being here and being able to reconnect with everybody, which is something that is interesting because a lot of times, at least people I know, and experiences that I've seen, and I'm not somebody who's really traveled far from home often with stuff, even with like school, I still just commute and everything. Like it's not something like I went out of state or like live elsewhere and have to live on campus type of thing. Like I'm there, like I stay home and then I just commute by car and everything. But friends and other people in which I know have different experiences, where some of them absolutely love their life at school and absolutely love their time that they can come home and get to experience everything else that they're kind of missing and don't get while they're away. But also the experience of others who cannot stand being home and they absolutely don't want to come back whenever, you know, a break goes on, or they have to come home for the summer or something like that. And then also the third option, which is people who absolutely hate being on campus and hate being at school, but instead really love just being home and the environments that they have and the different options that kind of present themselves. So it's nice to see Mitsumi's in a situation where she can really enjoy both, and she's not at home and kind of dreading being here and hating the idea that maybe there isn't enough for her to do or enough people around, or she's missing like back within the city and her friends from school and everything. But at the same time, she's just kind of enjoying the time that she has being with her family and taking everything in that she has. Really cool to see. I think that also goes with such like having such a positive attitude towards things as well. So she's kind of like taking all this in, making the most of what she has, even if it isn't like the most opportunity for her to do different things. She's just trying to enjoy absolutely every moment that she has to the fullest, which is really, really good. It's just a test to show you exactly who she is as a person and her character. That's honestly all I really want to touch on for that half of the episode. I mean, maybe there's a little bit more that's underlying, but it felt like that's really all that we were getting at, is just to kind of see and experience all of that. So I'm not going to go too far into that anymore. Lastly, I do want to talk about the second half, specifically regarding the stuff that happens with Shima and Mitsumi being so perceptive of everything else that's going around her. First, I guess Mitsumi understanding her being in the classroom and her kind of noticing that other people are tan, or other people are excited to reconnect with their friends, maybe that they haven't seen or talked to throughout the entirety of the summer, but also being able to share these stories and different things that kind of happened, or the places that you went, or give them gifts, or just like whatever was going on. While some people are able to express how happy they were and the things that went well for them over the summer, such as gaining a new partner or like something like that happening, great, just good things that have occurred, while others lose other people or grow far apart from others, and just things that bad can also occur. So just her being able to notice and understand that everybody's in a different situation and everybody didn't have such a good and enjoyable time over the summer. But also the idea of how much people can change and how much those opportunities in this time off can really physically at least show a change in a person. And I keep saying that, and I said that during the reaction specifically about a lot of times you get posed with a question such as like, can people change, or people claim that they've changed, right? And I'm a firm believer that you can, but I'm also a firm believer that it takes a lot of time and effort, like a lot. And I'm not saying like a couple months, like a really, really long time to fundamentally like truly change who you are. And these are more examples of what's happening now, of what can happen and what can change, I guess, relationship wise, as well as on the exterior, which I guess is also something that is you could consider a relationship a part of as well. All these exterior things that kind of change, that make you look at a person and notice that instantly, but you're not able to notice internally the things that are kind of wrong with them unless they kind of let that out, or they fully change in a different way, which you're not able to fully grasp in any sort of way, because one, it hasn't been long enough time, and two, because you'd have to know a person extremely well to be able to even notice those slight changes, or have, you know, a long time pass for you to really see fundamental differences within a person. For her being able to understand that and notice that every opportunity she's trying to get talking to Shima continues to kind of go down the drain, and she's not able to do it as they continue to seem distanced from each other. I liked your line about how some friends kind of always stay together and can always talk and stuff, but then some people don't have those same sort of relationships and kind of spread and go their separate ways. Because that's interesting to me, because it's not necessarily wrong, and I don't think that's wrong at all, actually, and that definitely happens, and sometimes people just drift apart in certain ways. But I think there's also different types of relationships where, specifically, my examples would be like friends that I have where I talk to every day or multiple days, like a week, and we have those kind of relationships, right? So it's weird if you go a week, 2, 3 weeks, something like that, without ever speaking to the person or something. You think that something might go bad or might go wrong, because those are the people that you're really close to and you're in contact with on a daily basis. Whereas I also have friends, and some of literally my closest friends are ones who I don't speak to more than maybe 2 or 3 times a month, and maybe I'll see them like once a month or something, and we just don't have those sort of relationships just because our lives are kind of putting us in different places, whether it be school or whether it be work or whether it just whatever the situation be, family stuff, you know, a whole bunch of different options can be it. But every time you get with that person, or you're able to talk to or see that person, whether it is once a month, it feels like you haven't missed anything at all, right? It feels like you're just picking up where you left off the last time that you talked or hung out, like nothing changes. So it's interesting just to see the different dynamics that friends can have, which I don't think was really too big of or too prominent of a thing that she was expressing here. But I thought it would just be something interesting to note, that her attachment, almost the way that she seems to feel every time that she sees Shima, and the way that she wants to talk to him, seems to be more of a relationship where she wants to kind of tell him everything and be with him or talk to him a lot more, multiple times like that, like throughout a week. And they don't seem like the people who would have that relationship that they would kind of spread apart on, or be not in communication for a while, because just wherever their lives kind of take them. Coming into school for the first time, also meeting Shima and making him her luck charm in a way, of being happy that that was the first person that she was able to see, was really cute. But the idea of us seeing Kanichika Senpai being one of the first people that we see building things regarding a festival just indicates that we are building towards a festival finale, which is usually typical first season. However, call me crazy, and I don't think it's that crazy of a thing to say. Usually when you have festival finales, especially within a first season of a show, sometimes it takes multiple seasons for it to really go that way. But usually you get big developments when something like that occurs. A lot of times, rom-com type situations, you get confessions and things like that to occur. Sometimes you have other ones that are like multi-seasoned or very like lengthy series that isn't necessarily the case. But something at this kind of brings your two characters very close together. So I think we're going more of that direction, where we're going to find out a lot more about Shima, or he's really going to face his past in some sort of way, or face the things that he's kind of tried to hide from and run away from in the past, and really be able to express himself and really develop him as a person and a character, as well as his relationship with those around him. And I think that's something that we're really going to see a lot of this end of the season probably. But I like the idea of Kanichka not giving him, or not forcing him to be in the play, or trying to even ask him at that point, and just realizing that he's not going to want to, so I'm not even going to bother with that, but just trying to get him to read the play, thinking, oh, you've, you know, been a part of show business in some sort of way, right? You'd be able to read this and understand, and, you know, help me out if I need to change anything or you don't like anything about it, which I thought was a very mature, good approach for him to take about it, and, you know, give him that opportunity to do that instead. Shima not wanting to, though, and thinking, this is just going to be more of an in for you to kind of try and force me to get involved in some sort of way, which I think is also a fair idea, or a fair thing for him to notice. Mitsumi so determined to give these snacks, or whatever it was, these gifts that she wants to everybody on her way to return, is unable to continuously give it to Shima due to them never being able to really connect, or her have a long time to be able to see him. So once she finally spots him after coordinating everything that's going on with student council and their preparations for this festival, she completely just sprints to it and goes to help him. But I thought we were going to get interrupted by like Ririka or something, which I'm really happy she wasn't there and we didn't have to experience that. But instead we have a very wholesome but also worrisome moment. So it kind of went both ways. Wholesome in the fact that Mitsumi was able to finally talk to Shima and kind of express herself and the things that she's been going through throughout this day, or however many days end up passing here, and be able to show all that off to him, just to solidify more of like the type of friend that she wants him to be and the things that she wants to be able to do and tell to him. Also realizing, though, at the same time, he's probably not that interested in it, even though he seems to be very happy just listening and seeing how overjoyed somebody can get with something so simple or something so, you know, new to them. Shima's line about feeling like he's kind of in a separate world almost from Mitsumi in the way that she acts, and such as I guess everybody else within the school, and maybe this is why he seems to almost be distancing himself, or not going out of his way to communicate and speak with her as much, specifically on the idea that he feels frozen in place and that he can't really take that next step and really venture out, and he's kind of just stuck where he was in the past, and he's not able to go out and truly be able to enjoy himself, specifically I guess because of the stuff that's happened with Ririka and everything else in his past, and he just doesn't think that this is an opportunity for him. He watches all these others around him who shine so brightly, such as Mitsumi, kind of just push forward constantly and get to do and experience these new things, and things that he seems to almost wish that he could be overjoyed with and have these same feelings of, but doesn't feel like he's really allowed to. For whatever reason, because it's this connection that he still has with Ririka, he just doesn't feel like he's able to push himself any further and be able to come out of this box that he's put himself in almost, which is really, really shitty. Talking about how he doesn't deserve to like be happy in any sort of way, or doesn't deserve these opportunities for him. Like, it's really, really sucky that he feels this way. I don't really know how much more to like kind of read it off. It's like we've seen directly the things that relate to this and why he feels this sort of way, and while there's definitely more under the surface we haven't been able to get to, and he's struggling himself to really open himself up and express this to anybody. Maybe it's because he doesn't want to drag other people into his world because of bad experiences and things that have happened before, or maybe it's just because he doesn't feel like he should put this burden almost on other people, this feeling of them kind of having to carry the weight with him, of him kind of spilling all the stuff that's happened before to him in the way that he feels. But he's just trying to carry this all alone, and it's continuously killing him and forcing him mainly to be stuck in place and not able to venture out and experience and enjoy life anymore. And he just doesn't feel like he can have that privilege or that right, which is really shitty, because that's exactly what Ririka told him last week, and that's exactly what I had an issue with. The fact that somebody else would tell you something like that, or feel like that they can dictate that based on other things that have happened or things that you've done in the past, and kind of prohibit you from the opportunity and the chance to change. Really shitty. I really hope he can break out of that slump, which I think we're going to build to here, and whether he's able to ultimately or not is yet to be seen. But really shitty. But him having such positive people like Mitsumi and her friends and everybody else around, I feel like this is an opportunity he'll be able to. The end, we really get a scene that I fucking hate as well. The fact that the class voted on doing a play really sucks. I mean, you would ideally just think he'd be okay working on it if he got to be stuck behind the scenes, but you know they're going to force him into the role, especially as officer and like leader of the class in a way, which is going to force him to have to face past trauma and other issues and things that he's been trying to hide away from, and put him in a situation where he literally does not feel comfortable at all. And I don't think he's going to be able to really speak up for himself and kind of get out of this, which is really going to suck. But we might ultimately get a moment of him breaking down and being able to finally express himself and really put himself out there to others, which I think would be really, really wonderful to see. But I really hope that they don't go a really shitty direction for him here. That's really going to be it for me, though. Absolutely love this. Bit of a short one, I guess, but especially when the first half was kind of spaced out as much as it was with his little kind of going on in dialogue and stuff. It was a little difficult to add more to it, but really enjoyed it regardless. And I'm happy for the change of pace almost, just to show you the different directions that we can kind of take. Excited to see what comes next. I'm assuming we're just going to continuously build over the next couple episodes for this festival and ultimately climax with what's going to happen there. If you like it all, hit the like and subscribe. They do really mean a lot to me. Feel free to check out the other videos on the channel and leave any comments about this episode or this series. Thank you guys very much for watching, though. I will be back next week for episode 10. You guys have a good one, though. See ya.